Benvenuti a tutti a WinetrippingTV. Oggi è veramente un giorno speciale perché non so come è successo, però io ho trovato un italiano che abita in Virginia. Ciao Luca, come stai?
Sto molto bene, abbiamo appena finito la vendemmia che è stata buonissima.
Perfetto, allora parliamo inglese così non devo scrivere tutto che diciamo. So, you're going to sponsor one of our video vocabulary words for us.
Yes, it's gonna be Virginia.
Okay, you want to tell us about winemaking history in Virginia in the future?
Yeah, I only have been here in Virginia for 20 years, although the most significant planting of grapes happened in the late 1970s, and that's when an Italian family, the Zonin family, established the estate, the wine estate here at Barboursville in the spring of 1976. There was a time when there were only 4 wineries in the state, predominantly planting Native American varietals of grapes like Norton or Concord, and then some hybrids like Vidal and Ceval. The belief back then was that the climate here was not suitable to produce European varieties of grapes, and this Italian family, after traveling in the U.S., and specifically they went to California, heard about Oregon and Washington, but didn't travel there because back then they felt it was a bit too remote. The location, they went to upstate New York and heard about Virginia having 4 small wineries. They came and they believed strongly that the climate and the soil should have been sufficiently good to support the growing of several European varieties of grapes. Keep in mind what are the latitude of Sicily here. So when the sun shines, the amount of radiation and heat, it's quite good. And so we can ripen, actually, it turns out, most of grapes and most of vintages. And so anyway, they went on and they decided to purchase this 900-acre estate, which used to be a sheep farm at that point. And they went on, planted, and things didn't happen immediately. You have to figure out which grapes to grow, and some didn't do very good, some did actually quite well. So through the years, not only Barboursville was understanding better which grapes to grow, but as well as other vineyards start establishing. So from 76 to 1990, we see from 5 winery going to 45. And from the 1990s, since I came to now, we're about just shy of 180 wineries in Virginia in different districts, different climates somewhat. So we have a good diversity of good combination of soil and climate. So it's quite unique what is happening in the state.
What's the most popular variety in Virginia?
The most popular at this point are in the white categories, Viognier for sure, and still we have quite a bit of Chardonnay in a way of popularity. Then there are other varieties like Pinot Grigio. Some people are planting successfully, Albarino. Although Viognier is not only the most grown by number of producers, which is close to 70 producers of Viognier, although is one of the grapes that one of the wine varietals that has received a recognition by critics of being at world-class level, which is what I think each wine region should be focusing on versus just planting what the shelves in the supermarket or stores are asking. Those they keep revolving anyway, and you cannot just keep following those trends. In the reds, definitely we have Cabernet Franc. followed by Merlot. Cabernet Sauvignon is a bit more critical, not as much by the climate condition, but by the soil type. A lot of wineries in the district where we are, around Charlottesville, we have what we consider a medium to good vigor soil, and Cabernet Sauvignon does its best when it's planted in poor soil. So there are some pockets of vineyards that are doing quite good work with Cabernet Sauvignon, but not as consistently. Then we have also some Petit Verdot, which is up and coming, used for blending, but some producers are successfully producing as a varietal. And then there are also some good results by some on a native grape called Norton.
Let's take a minute to talk a little bit about Barboursville Vineyards. Tell us a little bit. I'm with Luca Paschina from Barboursville Vineyards in Virginia.
Yes, Barboursville Vineyards gets its name from the village of Barboursville that actually was established subsequently to the Barboursville plantation. This was a plantation in the late 1700s owned by James Barbour, which became quite an important figure in politics. He became governor of Virginia. He was minister of war. He was in Congress for over a decade. Due to his close friendship with Thomas Jefferson, which is just 25 minutes south from here, what originated from the friendship also was the construction of a beautiful mansion on the estate designed by Thomas Jefferson. And that's what actually is depicted on the label of our wine. What sets apart even more this building from others is that, unfortunately, it burned on 1884 on Christmas Day and was never rebuilt. So it stands as a ruin, and that's why they're called the Barboursville Ruins, which is a historic, registered historic landmark. The house was never rebuilt. Likely, the family, the descendant, didn't have the means at that point any longer to rebuild it. And it was left as such. Property was then sold to an English family, which ran it as a sheep farm. And then in the 70s, as you heard earlier, the story, this Italian family was seeking for vineyard land. And so it was converted to a vineyard. And the good thing is that this is an historic farm of several hundreds of acres, and today is still functioning as a farm. And being successful also, it's important because it allows us to maintain these beautiful grounds for the future as an open land and as a farm, and where people can come and tour and visit the historic landmark and what have you.
Okay, so everyone, you have to go visit. It's definitely worth your time. It's historic. And then if they want to get your wines, how can they get your wines?
It depends, of course, in which state people are living. As always, we are distributed in several states on the East Coast. Some states also we are allowed to ship wine directly from the vineyards, and we have a very beautiful website full of information. And so if there is a wine, again, that I would recommend people might want to try, definitely the Viognier is a great example. In the reds, we have a blended red, which is called Octagon, which is predominantly Merlot and Cabernet Franc with a splash of Petit Verdot and Cabernet Sauvignon. An oddity per se, but not to us any longer, we produce Nebbiolo, which is being told by some wine people that really know wine, especially those that know Barolo and Barbaresco, being the only good example of Nebbiolo outside of Italy. And since I am from that region, I'm very proud of it.